Big Rab Show podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. How are yous, folks? Hope you're all keeping well out there in podcast land. Well, I know we say pretty much every week now at this point, but yeah, what a week that was in the piping world. There's been a lot of moving and shaking with a lot of great music played and a lot of stuff for us to cover in this week's news and updates. We will get to all of it, of course, but before we do, let's get through our introductions, though, shall we? If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland bagpipe and its people. And yes, the old cliche does ring true with us here in the Rab Show. Yeah, we do have a Patreon. And if you do want to click on support and get your hands on all of those extras, well, you'll be helping support your favourite wee piping podcast in the process. So a huge shout out to all of our Patreon faithful. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for clicking on support. And if you haven't yet, don't worry, but you can go and check it out. That you can get a free option. There is a free membership available, but there's a lot of stuff there for paid members. A lot of good stuff. If anything, last night's Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show is one that you should be checking out. Last night's show kind of got a little bit off the rails. We were talking about the Masters Solo Drumming Championships, and we'll talk about it in this week's show, of course. But we got well down a rabbit hole with drumming in general. We're talking all about incredible solo drumming musicians. Anyway, huge conversation all about drumming. And we all had the crack last night on Fuse. So thank you to everyone who messaged in. I've never seen that amount of messages before, but clearly a lot of very passionate drumming fans tuned into the show last night, and it was a great show. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you want to catch up again on that, that's available now on our Patreon. You can go and download it, take it with you, and listen to it at your leisure. Yeah. Plus, you can re-listen again to stuff that Rab got wrong. I believe it did make a few mistakes and a few errors and stuff. So, we'll fix that on next week's Fuse show. But, it wouldn't be me if I wasn't getting stuff that Rab got wrong. There you go. I couldn't even find the button there. What's going on? Right. Okay. Well, that's the Patreon plugged. Let's get into listener mail. And this week's no different. Each and every week we open the doors to listener mail at bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, we've got a bunch of questions in from people asking about the Big Rab Show store. Yeah. For those who haven't checked it out, thebigrabshow.com, there is a button now at the top of the website saying shop. And you can click on that, and we have a bunch of Rab Show merch on there. Now, there's been some questions asking, will we have water bottles? Will we have umbrellas? Different things like that with Rab Show logos on it and stuff. So, this is very much a work in progress, okay? This is honestly just the launch of the online store, and it will change over time. So if you want to send in your suggestions as to what kind of things you would like to see Rab Show merch-wise, then absolutely. Drop us in an email, bigrabshow@gmail.com. So, we've took your suggestions on board, like umbrellas, water bottles, and I think that very popular hand towels that we had. You know, the golf towels? Big Rab Show golf towels were incredibly popular the last time we sold merch. So, we're going to have to look into that. So, yes, we will continue in our design process, but we're podcasters and piping fans. We're certainly not clothing distributors. So bear with us, folks, as we're dealing with all of the intricacies of selling merch. But go and check it out. And to those who have, thank you. And to those who's actually made purchases as well, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy your products whenever they eventually arrive with you. There you are. So all other questions that we did get was based on last week's podcast where we met another band. Yeah, did you catch last week's episode? If you haven't, please do go back. We caught up with Wasatch District, and yeah, very interesting conversation. If anything, a lot of people didn't appreciate just how large an organization Wasatch District were. So yeah, we were able to point them in the direction of all their socials and websites and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's brilliant. So if you're a band as well, I was going to put this out there as well at the top of the show. If you do want to be a part of our Meet the Band series, then please do email us in. We're very keen to hear from as many bands across all grades and around the globe as well, not just here in the UK. We do want to hear your story. So email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and say, hey, we want to be on Meet the Band. Absolutely. We'd love to hear your story. Because I do think it's something, we kind of take for granted in our competitive scene, that everyone knows your band's story, who you are, where you're from, etc. But I can guarantee that everyone in the piping scene, especially competitively, are pretty much focused on their own band. You may well know the band that you're a member of and the history and all that kind of stuff. But whenever it comes to knowledge about any other pipe band out there, it's slim pickings. So yeah, we really love the Meet the Band series. We've learned a lot already especially about our international bands. Yeah, so I don't know. If you want to become involved in Meet the Band, email us in and we'll have even more stories to bring here to the show. Absolutely. All right. Well, you might have guessed by this week's topic of the week. Yeah, we're going to be meeting another band, the Rose and Thistle Pipe Band, and we'll get into that in this week's topic. But again, just a shameless plug, send us in your listener mail, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and we'll get a chat lined up with you in a later episode. There you go. Speaking of later episodes, that brings me on to my next point. We did get a bunch of questions asking about our coverage of this season. People are now very clearly making arrangements to attend various different events, and some people can't attend some of our major championships this year as a result of work, family, even vacations and stuff. They're being dragged away across the world to the sunshine when they could be back here in the UK in the lashing rain at the UK championships, for example. Anyway, I'm not saying it's going to rain, but people are being dragged away and they can't attend majors this year. So they're asking questions already. Hey, Rab, are you covering things this year? Well, I can tell you this. Ourselves and the Big Rab Show team are doing our best to kind of line up our coverage right now. As you can imagine, it is quite a big logistical thing to work out because all of us on the team are all competitors. Yeah, that's kind of a problem because whenever we attend a competition, we're not just there to film things and cover it for Rab Show. We're also there to compete with our band and in the hope of actually lifting some silverware and keeping our pipe majors happy. So it can be challenging, and that's what we're working on at the moment. I would say right now we have most majors covered, if not all of them. I think there's maybe one that we have left to finally sort out. But I think we have pretty much all of our major calendar sorted. And we will let you know about our coverage as we get closer to the time. So hopefully that'll answer your listener mail. Right now, we're working on it, on the logistics. Rab Show team, I've had a number of meetings actually trying to plan all of this kind of stuff. So, you might think that these podcasts happen overnight. No, we plan these months in advance. If anything, one of the things that we're really gearing up for is the Kids with Cancer charity night. Yes, that might have escaped a lot of people's attention, but concert season is just around the corner. We have a number of big events that we're going to be attending, and the first one of which I believe is the Kids with Cancer night. 28th of March in the Royal Hotel in Cookstown. And special band appearance on the night will be Police Scotland Fife. Yeah. Plus a whole range of amazing soloists and musicians from all across. This is going to be a blistering night, as it is every year, and raising a ton of money for charity. So, ourselves and the Rab Show team, we're going to do our best to attend and cover that. And then, the rest of the season shall unfold from there, I guess. But solo events aplenty, major championships and huge concerts. It's a big logistical thing. We need to work it all out with all of our team members. So, we're in the workings of it. So hopefully that answers your listener mail. There you are. Right. That's it for listener mail. If you do want to send in your own, of course, you can do. Email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and that's where you can send us in your questions. Okay. Next up is Weekly Drone. Now, this is possibly one of our favourite segments on the show, where it's an open microphone to the bagpiping world. Now, you can let us know your thoughts, feelings, opinions, everything, warts and all, completely without fear of recrimination. It's completely anonymous. All you have to do, go to the Big Rab Show website. There's a big button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone. And have at it. Now, I will admit this. Something happened this week with Weekly Drone. Oh! What could it be? Well, we did get a Weekly Drone in. In fact, we got 2 Weekly Drones in that we couldn't broadcast. Oh, yeah. I wanted to put this out there. Whenever it comes to Weekly Drone, we are very specific with our guidelines with Weekly Drone. We do not like singling people, persons, bands, businesses. We don't like singling them out and pointing the finger and making all sorts of crazy accusations, or, you know what I mean? Just like being stuff that we can't really stand over. All right? Like, I don't know, pointing the finger and going, it's all their fault. Yes, all those guys over there because of this A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right. We all know what things can be like in the competitive world, and emotions can run high. But whenever we believe, that a Weekly Drone is finger pointing, apportioning blame, going as far as actually name calling, and all sorts of crazy accusations, that's where we draw the line. So yes, to our Weekly Droner, who sent in all sorts of craziness over the weekend, yeah, unfortunately, your Weekly Drone will not be broadcast this week. There you are. Just wanted to say that now. Your Weekly Drone will not be broadcast. Man, I can't see if I had sent those Weekly Drones to JD. Ooh, I don't know if I would want to hear JD reading that. Brutal. Anyway, so yes, please behave on Weekly Drone. Although we do really want to know your opinions, warts and all, completely uncensored as well. But do make sure that it's within certain guidelines, that you're not, putting out something that may well be libelous. Yeah, or putting this in difficult legal positions as well. Yikes. All right, JD, have we got a Weekly Drone that does not cross those boundaries? All right, let us have it, man. Where is it?
The Weekly Drone.
Grade 2? Why are the RSPBA treating Grade 2 as dirt? No upgrades. Now expecting them to turn up on the Friday when 2025 worked perfect?
What was that I was saying about not being controversial? Oh, JD, what a Weekly Drone. Grade 2. Now, I believe this is a 2-parter. All right, the first one talking about 0 upgrades. Now, we spoke about this at the time, about the first meeting of the music board initially after the Worlds, where they do that first sort of run of upgrades, downgrades. Okay, most of them you can kind of just accept and say, well, fair enough. Yeah, we've seen that coming. They had a heck of a season, so yeah, deserved a promotion. That's an example, right? But as whenever it came to Grade 2, were there bands in that Grade 2 mix this season that deserved upgrading? In my opinion, yes, I do think so. However, we did speak about this at the time, and then we kind of drew the conclusion, well, perhaps maybe now isn't the right time. Now, what I mean by that is that, yes, 2025 is an absolutely stomping season for a lot of bands in that Grade 2 bracket, but were they ready for that Grade 1 push? That's debatable. And that's something that the music board do look at. That jump from Grade 2 to Grade 1 is a big one. And it can absolutely be the make or break of a band. So they're very careful with it. There has been times where they maybe haven't been as careful, and they have looked at the results and just immediately promoted a band or demoted a band based on their performance in the results table. And yeah, as we found, sometimes that can have repercussions for bands very quickly as a result. A jump too far too soon, perhaps. Or even for a downgrade perspective, they can end up losing membership who wanted to compete in Grade 1 and find themselves back in Grade 2. It can be a double-edged sword. So the music board, I think, are being more cautious whenever it comes to upgrades and downgrades, especially between that bracket of grade 2 and grade 1. Now, as I mentioned, in my opinion, do I think there should have been some upgrades? I think, yeah, absolutely. I think there's so many bands in grade 2 that are just knocking on the door of grade 1. It's insane. The standard in grade 2 is ridiculous. We do call it the ridiculous grade for a reason. Absolutely. But hi, I am not there on the music board. Those are the folks that know what they're doing, and I am just a piping fan. What do I know? But yes, on to part 2 of your weekly drone, talking about the change of format, where grade 2 are now going to have to compete on the Friday and the Saturday of the big game. Yeah. Now, we spoke about this at the time. Never mind the sound effect. But yeah, we did talk about this at the time, saying this will be a huge shake-up and quite a complex one as well. There's different playing requirements depending on the amount of bands entered and how they're going to run the qualifying and all of this. Yeah, for those of you who've been looking at the playing requirements for grade 2 at the Worlds, it's complex. There isn't any other word for it. Yeah, but essentially what it boils down to is that grade 2 will now be required to play both days, Friday, Saturday. Now, is this a good thing? I don't know. Some people, like our weekly droner, said, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But there has been a lot of murmurings recently about that jump from grade 2 to grade 1 being incredibly difficult. And one of the biggest adjustments is, well, we all know our grade 1 big guns have to play 4 times over the course of Worlds weekend. And that adjustment in itself is a big one. So they're introducing this gradually into the grade 2 bracket in the hope that when the band does get a push up to grade 1, that jump is not as big because they've already had a shot at it before. You get my thinking? And I think that's the thinking here of the music board and everyone that decides these things behind the scenes. I believe that's the reasoning. Now, obviously, this change, I don't believe would have been brought in without the consultation of the bands or its members. Now, again, that could absolutely be stuff the rep got wrong. I don't know. But we do know that there will be an RSPBA AGM coming up very soon, and I'm sure all of this will be talked about, debated, and thrashed out across a boardroom table. So, yeah, we'll get into that in the news and updates. The announcement about the AGM dropped this past week, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, we do think that this will be one of the things up for discussion across the table, the format of the World Championships when it comes to grade 2. There has been an adjustment made there. Is it for the better? I don't know. That's arguable. I would love to know your opinions on it, though, folks. So email me in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, or you can send us in your own weekly drones and tell me your thoughts on the grade 2 changes for the Worlds. I can see the logic behind it. That's what I was going to say. Is that it is logical. I can see why they're approaching it this way, but I don't know. Some people are of the adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. I don't know. Clearly, that's the fence that our weekly droner is sitting on right now. So, hey, there's opinions aplenty all about this, and I would love to know yours. We are the show for the piping, folks, so send us in your opinions. bigrabshow@gmail.com, or you can send us in your own weekly drone, and no doubt we'll be visiting this grade 2 debacle in a future show. All right, everyone, that's it for Weekly Drone. As I've said, send us in your own, and we'll bring that to a future show, but do try and keep them within a certain lanes, I guess. Not into the realm of anything libelous or anything that will get us sued. No, please don't get us sued. That would be nice. So, yeah, send them in. bigrabshow.com, that big button, weekly drone. You can let us have it. All right, folks, at this point, I'm going to take myself a wee break, but I'll be right back with all the news and updates. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's interactive player.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk.
Okay, time for all the news and updates. And the story that I want to lead out the gate with, it's not really a story. I think it's one that we all seen coming. Now, what I'm talking about is Inverarian District announced it just at the tail end of last year that they're going to be heading over to Chicago for a huge concert. Now, this was to coincide with their appearance at the Chicago Highland Games. Now, as we mentioned here, that this actually does clash with the UK Championships. Yeah, we mentioned that a few weeks ago, and as a result, Inverarian District will not be competing at the UK Championships. But our loss here from a major championship perspective is definitely the gain of the Midwest Pipe Band Association, who announced on Monday that the tickets were going on sale. Now, as expected, these tickets absolutely leapt off the shelves and the event was sold out in a matter of minutes. I absolutely seen this coming, which is why this is not a story. But yeah, I don't know. Hindsight is a great thing. I guess so many people did not know that the tickets were for sale and then tried to look online to buy them and find that they were gone. So the concert itself is happening on the 12th of June. And as I say, there is 0 tickets left. So there's no point in me even plugging or promoting where to go and get them. So, hey, huge shout out to Inverarian District. This is such an exciting trip. And the concert itself, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. Now, hopefully we will have some Big Rab Show team members at the event. We're still working out the logistics of that. But yeah, the 12th of June cannot come quick enough. We're very excited for this upcoming concert from Inverary. And full credit to the Midwest Pipe Band Association for snaring. That's just quite a coup, you know? Selling out a concert of that size so quickly is just incredible. Well done to everyone there. And hey, to everyone who managed to secure tickets as well, well done. I think you deserve a pat on the back for sitting in that online queue and then snapping them up as soon as they became available. Well done. Speaking of concerts and stuff, there is plenty on offer at the moment. We were speaking about this last week. People's Ford, Bog Hall and Bathgate are going to be on stage in the Aberdeen Music Hall, of course, the 2nd of May, and they're bringing back their Caberfay concert. Yeah, we spoke about this before, and surprisingly, tickets are still available, which is quite a shock, actually. So if you do want to go and attend that, absolutely. Tullylagan, Grade 2 Pipe Band are also going to be in concert in the Burnavon Theatre. Also, our Clock Finn, they're going to be in action in the Burnavon Theatre. Not on the same day, mind you. Different day. But yeah, 2 separate concerts, but definitely worthy of your time. Yeah, Drumlock Pipe Band are also throwing a concert as well and a bit of a fundraiser. Interested in that? Go and check out Drumlock Pipe Band. And we're in the middle of concert season right now. You know, we mentioned it at the start of the show there about the Kids with Cancer Charity Night. That's going to be a blistering night. Yeah, 28th of March. By the way, tickets are still available. Again, that's quite surprising to me. But yeah, they are still available. And the star attraction on the night, of course, will be the appearance of Police Scotland Fife. Now, we were talking about this on Rab Show on Fuse last night, and yeah, it was agreed that this was the first time Police Scotland Fife have actually hit the stage here in Northern Ireland. Now, if I'm wrong, you can let me know.
Stuff the Rab got wrong.
Of course, you can email me in if that is incorrect, but I do believe this is the first time Police Scotland 5 will hit the stage here in Northern Ireland. But if anything, we've reached out to the band themselves. We do hope to have a future interview with them ahead of the event. So, but just to let you know, tickets are available 28th of March. There you are. For all those other bands that we mentioned, all those concerts and stuff, you can go and check out their socials. They do have links and everything for you to go and buy tickets for their concerts. I would encourage you to go and help support bands during this period of the season. It's normally around this time where fundraisers take place. And, really do help bands keep the wheels turning. And, I want to give a shout out to a few bands that are running some fundraisers. Shout out to Altnavay Memorial, who are throwing a big breakfast on the 7th of February in Altnavay House. That's just this weekend at the point of me recording this. For more details, go and check out Altnavay Memorial on their socials. These big breakfasts are very popular, by the way. So that starts at 8:30 in the morning and rolls all the way through to 11:30 in the morning, and that's in Altnavay House. Saturday, the 7th of February. Go and get yourself a big feed, thanks to Altnavay. Now, also, there's table quizzes seem to be quite popular. Shout out to the Matt Boyd Memorial, who are running a table quiz on the 14th of March. That's in the Royal Hotel in Cookstown. Again, loads of bands fundraising. I think Tullylagan also have a fundraiser, a quiz night. That's happening as well. So, too many for me to mention here. There's a load of them here in front of me here. And I'd rather me read a hashtag list. Just wanted to let you know that they're all happening. There you go. Go and check out your respective pipe band out there, and I'm sure there's bound to be some fundraising efforts happening. So it's around this time of year that bands like to have some sort of money in the coffers so they can attend various events and competitions and things and, make it possible. So if you can, go and support your local band and, maybe go to a quiz night or a big breakfast or a car boot sale, or I think I've even seen a few car washes as well. I think I've seen a few bands doing car washes, things like that, Absolutely. Go and help support your local band. Now, moving on to our next news story then, away from fundraising and concerts and stuff. Well, this past weekend, there might have been something happening in Glasgow. So you folks might have heard about a wee competition that happened this past weekend called The Masters. We might have been chatting about it now for a while on the show. And talk about an exciting weekend filled with music. Oh, my word. So, we had to welcome back Cam to the show to tell us all about the Masters. But before we even get into the music and everything that happens, Cam, tell us about the venue, mate. What a last-minute scramble that was.
Yeah, so, so Friday ended up being probably one of the most stressful days that I've had in a long time. So, pretty much... on Friday afternoon, I was doing some last minute prep. I just sat down to eat my lunch and my phone exploded with phone calls and messages saying, an article's just gone up saying your event's cancelled, what's going on? So I had competitors, judges, spectators, people who have been helping me organize it being like, what's going on? And I had no idea. I was the last person to find out, apparently. So it was lucky enough that I was actually on Sauchiehall Street at the time. And so I dropped my lunch and sprinted straight down to the CCA, which was the original venue. And when I got there, all the lights were off and the doors were chained up and nobody was answering the phone.
Quick.
Zero warning. I've still not had any contact from anyone.
Wow.
I've had contact from someone who worked there, but essentially they let the entire staff go with zero notice, pretty much. And I was very fortunate that the event coordinator that I'd been dealing with, she actually tracked down my phone number online and called me and basically explained that it's totally shut down, it's gone into liquidation. So I ran over to the Python Centre and pretty much begged Finlay MacDonald to let me use Otago Street, and he managed to pull it together and managed to get the shop downstairs staffed so that there was someone there to open up and be there to close up as well. So yeah, bit of a nightmare the day before the competition.
Absolutely. Yeah. If anything, the first that we heard of it was we had Stephen Crichton in the airport and he put it up on socials going, is this still happening? We're like, what's he talking about? And then we all started asking questions. Then we found that the CCA, as you say, just announced that they went into liquidation. That's it. Man, talk about an absolute, like, I don't know, like absolutely pulling the rug out from under everyone. It was so awful. And yeah, I was then, okay, can we help? You know, what can we do? But then by the time we actually found out what was happening, you announced that there was a new venue. So it was all very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, we were lucky enough to get a quick turnaround. I was obviously very conscious that we had 3 guys flying in for it. And I was like, they're all going to be heading to the airport. Either they're already there or they're going to be heading there soon. I was like, I need to get this sorted as soon as possible. So we were very lucky. And I actually think the Piping Center has picked up the majority of the CCA bookings now, which is really good for them. Obviously, unfortunate that ourselves and everyone else have had the rug pulled out from under us, as you say. But I'm glad that everyone I've seen, at least every event I've seen, has managed to secure a new venue as well. So
there you go. So I'm glad I had a positive outcome. That's great. And hi, full credit to the folks at the National Piping Centre for really pulling the finger out. Just absolutely awesome. That deserves a round of applause right there. Well done.
100%.
Thank you, everyone there. So came to the rescue, and mate, the event itself was a roaring success. I was glued to the live stream. I needed to ask you then about the double MSR. Now, we spoke about this the last time and how, dynamic this would be in the tune selection. Another level of concentration involved in this. How did you find that event went?
I think it went really well. So I obviously I put out that survey for everyone who came along, and I asked that one of the questions was, what did you think about sort of the format of the events? And everyone said they actually really enjoyed the double MSR. I was a little bit worried about how an audience might perceive listening to an MSR for 7.5, 8 minutes, but it was really well received by everyone that was watching. The limit that we put on sort of the maximum 4 parts meant you got some kind of more unique tunes that you've maybe never heard a solo drummer play. Like off the top of my head, Andrew Lawson played the Nights with Kaylee, which I've never heard a solo drummer.
That's the one I have in my head, Andrew. Yeah. Brilliant.
So I think it opened up a really cool avenue to it for drummers to explore maybe tunes that they've never even thought about playing in an MSR. And I spoke to the competitors. I was also like, how are they going to feel after playing a double MSR? And it's been overwhelmingly positive. They've all said that they really enjoyed the format. I sent out a wee survey to them as well, and they've all come back saying, yeah, love the double MSR. It's good fun. So I did speak to a couple of them straight after it. I was like, what was it like? And they're like, nothing they've done before. It's totally different level of concentration, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's it. It is really unique. I think that's the right word. And like having to concentrate for that length of time, normally 4 parts, you're done. You're on to the next, but nah, you have another 4 to go. And it really takes you to lock in with it, So it's fantastic. For those of you who haven't watched the MSR, I know some people might skip it and then go to the light music and stuff, but no, trust me, go and catch the double MSR. It's really interesting. But yeah, the light music as well was where it's at. You promised us fireworks, and mate, you didn't disappoint. Yeah, tell us about that then. Some big surprises during that.
Yeah, definitely. Some surprises to me as well when I was watching at the back of the room. Some of the stuff was really cool. So, I mean, the medley contest was exactly what I wanted it to be. Like full credit to the 8 guys playing. They really pulled out all the stops for their performances. They were given some criteria, like they had to play a compound time march, a 9/8 jig, and 2 parts of a reel. And out with that, they all brought something that I thought was really, really cool. off the top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind is Jake doing a wee drum fanfare towards the end of his, which was so cool. I was actually in the next room organizing the raffle, and I heard Chris stop, and I was like, what's going on?
Is that it?
And I heard Jake keep playing, and I was like, oh no, something's happened. So I ran back in. Next thing I knew, he's clicking the sticks and backstage, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
There we go. Yeah.
And then you had some
opening tune for that set, like that, the compound. As you were talking about, some really interesting time signatures being played too.
Absolutely, yeah. Some awesome tunes as well. Like Stephen played "Up to the Line," which is a classic. I believe it was Reed's score as well for it. I want to say I'll fact check that tomorrow night at band, but as far as I'm aware, or it's at least heavily inspired by. So that was really cool. Everyone totally smashed it.
Absolutely. And so for those of you who haven't watched the live streams, you can go and have a look at the Masters now on socials, and even fair play to the Pipe Band Museum as well. It's been churning out the content.
Yeah,
it's been brilliant.
It did way more than I was expecting. So every time I open my phone on Facebook, there's something new from them, which is great. It's just it's awesome to see sort of like individual videos as well, so you don't have to go scrolling through the live stream.
Yeah, and I'm quite excited. The guys from the Drum Score podcast were there as well, covering the events. I'm going to be tuning in for that one.
Absolutely,
for sure. Yeah. So apologies for all Rab Show fans. We couldn't make it, unfortunately. Everyone was working or at different appointments and stuff. We just couldn't make it happen. So apologies on that front. But we did do our best to share out everything possible. So if you do want to catch that coverage online, go to our socials. We've shared them out as best we can. So, Cam, I think the question that everyone's asking now is, when's the next one? Because this one is finished now. It's been so good. We're just really looking forward to the next now. Are there any plans?
So the whole thing I've been telling myself is, once the event's done, I'm going to take a wee break from thinking about what comes next. I found myself on Monday creating a document on my laptop called the Masters 2027, so that's not gone well.
Oh, there we go.
Taking a break. So there are plans starting to form. I obviously I said earlier that I sent out a wee survey to all the competitors because I really want this to be sort of the ultimate solo drumming event that is perfect for high level snare drummers to compete in. So I'm taking on all their feedback and looking at making it bigger and better for next year. The good news is I don't think I have to change the format. They all really liked it. So no sort of set dates or venues yet, but that'll all be announced in time. But yeah, we the Masters will be back.
Yes, that's the right answer. Happy days. Oh, we're so excited for it. Do you know what, Cam? Whenever we first started talking about this, we talked about how the drumming world lacks this kind of a space where the pipers have loads of it. The gold medal, the Glenfiddich, etc., etc. Drummers don't really have that. They have the RSPBA circuit and stuff, but not much outside of it. So the Masters really does fill that gap. So any wonder people are excited for this. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to the next one. You'll have to keep us posted on the details of that.
I will.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, but for those who haven't seen the results, by the way, we'll briefly go through those. They run the same sequence for each event. Stephen McWhirter was the overall champion. He lifted first in the MMSSRR. I had to remember that. But also in the medley competition as well. He won both. And then in second place in both events was Wally Glenholmes. And then in third was Jake Jorgensen, AOR. So, but full credit to all of the competitors, really pulled it out of the bag. So just well done to everyone. So, Cam, thanks so much for rescuing the event and to the Piping Centre for letting it happen. It was smashing. And hopefully it won't be too long before we're chatting to you on the pod again, mate. Yeah.
100%.
Thanks a million. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fantastic. Shout out to Cam for joining us on the show this week and telling us all about that massive ball of stress that he had to handle. But yeah, full credit to everyone involved there. Wow. All right, let's move on. Away from the drumming world, let's look towards the piping world. And the William Grant Foundation, along with the National Piping Centre, they have let us all know that the nominations for the Belvany Medal is now open. We've spoke about the Balvenie medal here many times on the show before. We've even had some of the judges for the medal on the show as well, talking about the sort of credentials that people, the kind of boxes you would need to tick to be even considered for the Balvenie medal. Now, the nomination process is open now, and what you need to consider is anyone in the bagpiping world who fits the following criteria. I'm going to get into this, all right? There are 7 points in total. Number 1 is they have to have a passion for piping, an evident and deep commitment to the music and the piping world that influences those around them. There you are. Number 2 is a commitment to advancing the world of piping, whether in terms of the art form, engagement, and participation, or its appreciation. Yeah. Number 3 is a sense of character and personality that is a beacon of inspiration for others. Number 4 is going above and beyond their given position in work or life to make a difference. Number 5 is fostering a strong sense of community within the piping world, collaborating to bring people together to jointly further the cause of piping. Number 6, a legacy that promises to inspire future generations or will continue to benefit the piping community. Number 7 is a commitment to values and principles, even when it might have been challenging to hold them. There you are. Now, last year's recipient of the Balvenie medal was Jenny Campbell, MBE. Now, Jenny, honestly, is such a legend in the bagpiping world. And I think her proper title, she's like a cultural historian for the piping world. And if any of you have ever seen any of Jenny's books or any of the articles that she's written on the history of pipe bands over the years, it's just incredible, her legacy of work. Now, you can go and have a look at all of the previous recipients of the Balvenie medal, and it reads as a who's who of the bagpiping world, honestly. So, yeah, the medal itself was first awarded back in 1985 and has continued since then, and has been seen as quite a prestigious award given to those who are just, icons in the bagpiping world. So, for more information, you can go along to bagpipe.news, where they have published a full article on this. As well, you can visit the National Piping Centre website and for all of your details on how to get your nominations in. Yeah. So as I say, that is up there on the website and everything. Or if you do have any queries at all, you can contact the National Piping Centre and just ask them questions. Ask the team there and say, "Hi, how can I get my nomination in for whoever I believe deserves a Balvenie medal?" There you are. So the medal itself is presented each year at the Glenfiddich Championships, so we will see the outcome, I guess, as to who will be receiving it this year. But the process starts now, and the nominations are now open. So there you are. Shout out to the National Piping Centre and the William Grant Foundation. This is very exciting. Doors are now open for nominations. There you go. Okay, I wanted to briefly mention and give a bit of a shout out this week to a recent Burns supper that I attended in Ballymoney. Yeah, this was in the Ballymoney Parish Hall, and talk about a night of piping and drumming. It was so good. Now, they invited me along to give one of the toasts on the night. I was to do the toast to the immortal memory kind of thing. And then I kind of hung around and I'd done MC on the night to keep things moving. But yeah, talk about a wealth of talent that performed at this. Oh, just brilliant. So yeah, we all sat down, had our dinner, had our speeches and everything. And then came the entertainment. And the amount of piping and drumming on offer was just brilliant. And shout out to the Rab Show team, actually, who were there. That just happened to be a happy coincidence. I was there on stage on the mic, but then the Rab Show team guys were there as well, Adrian and Victoria. And I was like, "What are you guys doing here?" "Oh, we're here for the Burns night." "Oh, brilliant. Did you bring your camera with you?" "Of course we did." So they ended up filming a lot of the action, and a lot of that is now hit our YouTube channel. So you can go and check all that out. And I shout out to the Force Drum Major display team who were there. And they'd done a number of sets throughout the night, and that was absolutely fantastic. And they involved Irish dancing, Scottish dancing, and all sorts of incredible new twists on drum majoring. It was just so enjoyable to watch. And then, of course, the piping and drumming, as we've mentioned, just fantastic. Shout out in particular to Aaron McLean, of course, who played his now signature set, Lord of the Dance, and along with an Irish dancer, Jessica Smith. It was just, if you haven't seen that video yet, whew, fantastic. Shout out to Aaron McLean. That was so enjoyable. So go and check out those videos, by the way. They're on our YouTube channel now. Definitely worth a visit. So yeah, some of those runs, performances of songs, big numbers, performed it just, absolutely brilliant. All right. Let's move on. Right. At the minute, the Big Rab Show matchmaking service is definitely underway. Okay. Now, this past week, I hadn't really been keeping a track of it because I had a lot going on myself at home, but I've had on good authority that the Big Rab Show matchmaking service, has been quite successful this past week. I had a check on it here just before I started recording tonight, and there has been a couple of people that have come back to us to say that they are now competing in various grades. Now, I'm not going to mention them because we do like to keep our matchmaking service anonymous, but yeah, there are bands out there looking for musicians, all right? And there's musicians listening right now that don't have a band. Now, I'm not just talking about you folks here in the UK, okay? I'm talking about around the world. Because, in fact, one of the players that we got reunited with the pipe band actually is in Queensland, in Australia. Absolutely brilliant. So, like thousands of miles away, we were able to find a competitor, a band out there in Queensland. Brilliant. So it shows that we can do this internationally, never mind locally. But we have managed to hook up a few local players as well with competitive bands here in the Northern Ireland scene as well. So I think we've got a couple from Scotland as well hooked up with various bands in different grades. But yeah, our matchmaking service is absolutely in full flow. My recommendation to you is if you do want to take advantage of our matchmaking service, please get in contact with us over the next couple of weeks. I do think that we will have a cutoff for the matchmaking service, and that will probably be around St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, around that middle of March kind of bracket, because we want to give both the band and the player the opportunity to learn all the material and be match ready by the time the season rolls around. And we think mid-March would be about a reasonable cutoff. All right? So if you do want to be a part of Rab Show matchmaking service, then email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. Just put it in the title of your email, matchmaking, and we'll do our best. Okay. Now you can be from a band looking for players, or you can be a player looking for a band. All right. Either way, we'll do our best to kind of match you up with a band that's geographically suitable or a band that is competitively suitable. Doesn't even have to be competitive either. There's been a number of people that we've sent to various road bands or service bands, as they're known in the US. So, yeah, we've done our best to help all musicians to get back out there with the pipes under the arm or the drum harness on. That's what we're all about. Well, speaking of the matchmaking service, it is in full flow. One such band has put an announcement on their socials that the Cleland Memorial are now recruiting. Yes, now the reason I'm mentioning it on the show this week is because they're launching a brand new band. Woo! Yeah, a brand new band from the Cleland Memorial. Yes, they're excited to announce the launch of their Grade 4B pipe band. So if you're a piper, drummer, or even just looking for a fresh start or a new challenge, well, the Cleland Memorial want to hear from you. They're offering free tuition, so just walk through the door and you get handed a chanter and say, on you go. So, but it's exciting. Whenever you hear about brand new bands being established, that's fantastic. So, yes, if you do want to take up the challenge and you're in the area, County Down, sort of around that sort of East Coast, Northern Ireland, there you are. The Cleland Memorial want to hear from you and their exciting new Grade 4B band. Now, I'm really hopeful that we'll see them on the grass this season. I don't know. This is February now, so I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that develops. But, I will be in touch with Caldwell Hamilton to find out more info on that one. That's exciting. All right. So, if you are recruiting or looking a band, do contact us. Big Rab Show matchmaking service. We'll do our best. Okay, I wanted to give a bit of a plug this week for a couple of things that our own RSPBA headquarters have been up to behind the scenes. Yes, they put it on their socials there on January 30th that a brand new website is currently in development and, will be launched very soon. Now, I believe their old website, the original one, has been taken offline. Now, again, this could be stuff that Rab got wrong. Depending on when you're listening to this, it may already be down or it may already be fixed. I don't know. But the rspba.org, if you were to go and try and look at it now, I believe it doesn't work. Whenever you visit the site, there's a big notice that says, we'll be back in full marching order soon. Now, as to how soon that will be, we don't know, but we do know that there's a bunch of bands out there that are quite anxious about this because they would use the website quite frequently looking for rules, for map tunes and stuff like that, but also for application forms and things to do with player transfers and paying their fees and all that kind of stuff. So bands can be in a bit of a fluster going, where's the website gone? But it says on here, it'll be there soon. Now, as to how soon is, no idea, but we'll have to wait on that one. But we'll keep you across the details of it. It's exciting, though. The RSPBA have not had a new site in quite a while. The last time they did have a new website overhaul, a new design and everything, there was the initial pushback where people said, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's new. It's flashy. It's got buttons everywhere. I don't know how to use it. I don't like it. Now, the RSPBA spent loads of money on it. All right. And it did draw criticism for the amount of money it cost as well. So I don't know about the development of this new site. No idea. But I'm very curious. Very curious. So as this new website gets launched and everything, I would urge everyone to go and check it out. Go and have a look at the brand new rspba.org. I'm sure it will be a topic of conversation on a future show here. So yeah, new website incoming from headquarters. Also, I'm talking about the new website as well. There are advertising opportunities available. Like, this is an interesting dynamic. This has never really been introduced by this Royal Scottish Pipe Band Association before. So they're offering advertising space on their website. Yeah. So I don't know quite how it's going to work or how it's going to look on the new website. So that's a curious one as well. So for any businesses out there who might want to advertise with our own headquarters, well, there's your opportunity. And also, it's very interesting from the point of view that it'll be raising some form of revenue. Yeah, to help keep things afloat. And that's been one of the things that people have been talking about in recent years, is about the ability to raise revenue for the RSPBA. Yeah, and just how does it function financially? You know, we spoke about the cost involved in running competitions, and ticket prices are only ever going up. Well, this is one particular point of evidence showing that the RSPBA are now looking at different ways of potentially raising funds. Now, we did speak about their RSPBA shop. I think it's RSPB Bay. Is that it? I don't know. That could be stuff that Rab got wrong. But there is an online store now where you can go and buy headquarters merch. You know, T-shirts, hats, hoodies, that kind of thing. Similar to what we do in Rab Show. But it's all got emblazoned in RSPBA logos and stuff. All very cool. Also, if you can't make it to the Worlds, then you can still get a Worlds T-shirt, hat, cuddly toy, whatever it is you want. But yeah, it's great to see that there's now all these different like little ventures, I think, to try and raise revenue. And I think it's so, encouraging, in my opinion. You might disagree, but yes, and whenever we're talking about tickets into venues and stuff, yes, that is a thing. That's a topic for discussion, and no doubt we'll get into it whenever we start seeing the season unfold and how much it costs us to get into various competitions. Yeah, but seeing now that they're offering advertising on their website, that's an interesting one as well. Yeah, so there you go. If you're a business and you want an advert on the site, you can contact them. Details are all up there on their website. Well, on their socials for now. The website's down. But yeah, and you can possibly check out advertising and help raise some revenue for our association. Interesting. Okay, last little bit of association news. The AGM. We finally have a date in our books, which is... Everybody holds their breath. It is the 14th of March. Yes, the 14th of March will see everybody heading to headquarters for the RSPBA annual general meeting. Now, why did I play the dun-dun-dun sound effect? Well, I believe this AGM will be incredibly interesting for a multitude of reasons. There's a lot of talking points that need to be tackled at this meeting. A lot of local branches have already talked about these and have worked out plans of action and things that they want to bring to the AGM and discuss. And it's going to be interesting, folks. I'll say that. There could be some changes afoot for this incoming competitive season. And where it's all going to be decided is at that meeting on the 14th. So if you are not going, then do try and let your band secretary know that it's happening, and then maybe they can go, or a rep from your band in some form or other so they can attend. I believe this meeting will be a hybrid meeting as well. So if you can't catch a flight and head to Glasgow and be there in person, perhaps there now will be an online option. There you are. So just wanted to get that date in your diary. 14th of March, the 95th RSPBA Annual General Meeting is going to be a big one, folks, and you will not want to miss it. Yeah, for a lot of different reasons. We've spoke about the importance of AGMs here in the show, probably ad nauseum now. People are sick of hearing me talking about it. But yeah, that's a day for your diary right there. All right, let's move on. Okay, I'm sure you might have heard on last week's podcast, we did dedicate the entire show to the memory of the late Jeffrey Mann. Now, people have been asking us on the Big Rab Show about the various funeral arrangements and things like that, so we've done our best to share those out whenever they became available. I just wanted to mention this week about the Wasatch District Pipe Band, and to everyone who were there at the send-off of Jeff Mann, they formed a massive massed pipes and drums, and what a send-off. It was quite emotional, actually, to watch. A lot of Jeff's friends, family were all in attendance, and seeing all of these musicians thumping out some big tunes, it was just, I don't know, a very prideful moment, but also melancholy and sad in a way, because we knew that Jeff would have absolutely loved that, you know. So again, a huge shout out to everyone there in Wasatch District and everyone involved in the funeral and all of the big send-off, I guess. It was really heartwarming to see. So if you are curious as to what that looked like and sounded like, there are sporadic videos of it online, there's photographs and stuff that Wasatch District have shared from that day. Go and check that out. Just a huge shout out to all of you. Full credit to everyone who was involved. Okay, also, I want to give a mention this week to members of the IPBA and others who were involved in various performances of the Cross Border Orchestra of Ireland. It's affectionately known as the Peace Proms, and well, this past weekend in Waterford, I think there was 7 concerts in total. Yeah, members of New Rossin District, Black Raven, St Joseph's Clondalkin, City of Limerick, the Tralee Pipes and Drums, and a wealth of others were all involved in this. So just full credit to all of you. Well done. I have yet to see any sort of musical clips from this, however. So if anyone does have any video from the Peace Proms or the Cross Border Orchestra performances over the weekend, do send them in. But yeah, well done to everyone involved, especially all the little kids in that were involved. They looked so chuffed to be a part of things. So yeah, just well done to all pipers and drummers there in those bands I mentioned, and to everyone else involved in the Cross Border Orchestra performances this past weekend. Very good. Okay, another news story. I have to give a shout out this week to a good mate of the show, actually, Cammy Barnes. Cammy Barnes, the absolute legend. For those of you that haven't been following him on socials recently, you might not have seen the announcement, but Cammy is heading out on a bit of a UK tour at the moment. Yeah, and he's got 2 massive gigs at the Barrowlands in Glasgow. Now, he might have kind of dropped that into conversation last year at Rab Show Live. We don't know if he should have done that or not, but he did. So yeah, he kind of let the cat out of the bag that these huge gigs were happening, and now we finally see the announcement. So the 24th and 25th of September, Cammy is playing the Barrowlands. Now that's an iconic venue for a wealth of reasons, but yeah, I think they might well be sold out by now. That could be stuff that Rab got wrong. But Cammy is also heading to Ireland. He's heading this side of the Irish Sea, and he's doing a bunch of shows in the north and the south as well. So plenty of opportunity to go and catch Cammy Barnes. So we wanted to give him a good plug on the show. If you are curious about getting tickets to go and see Cammy live in action, then go and check him out on social media. He's got all of those links across where you can go and have a chance of getting a ticket to see Cammy. But if you do get it, then good luck to you. That's brilliant. I think there will be hen's teeth at this point. Anyway, I'm going to plug another gig. Actually, the Red Hot Chili Pipers are going to be playing in the Waterfront Hall in Belfast on the 8th of May. Yeah, so Red Hot Chili Piper fans, this is their Back to Roots tour. Yeah, we've been playing a lot of tracks actually from that album, Back to Roots. If you haven't checked it out, it really is kind of a homecoming for the Red Hot Chilies. It's not their usual stuff like, playing We Will Rock You, AC/DC, things like that. The Red Hot Chili Pipers lean into their competitive roots. And a lot of the music that's on that album is from the competitive pipe band scene. Really quite intricate. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still the pop stuff on there. There's the pop and the rock and the hip-hop and whatever. The Chilies do their thing. but there is that back to roots element of it. So I think the album is perfectly named. If you haven't listened to it yet, go and check it out. It honestly is fantastic. But yeah, they have an upcoming concert now in the Waterfront Hall in Belfast, 8th of May. Now, that's just for us local here in Northern Ireland, but they do have a wealth of other gigs, aplenty, all across the UK coming up as part of their Back to Roots tour. Now, I do believe, actually, Ali the Piper will be supporting them, I think at the gig at the Usher Hall. Again, that could be... Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think Ali has previously played with the Chili's at various dates in the States, so I think she's now taking the opportunity to possibly play at a few dates here in the UK as well. So, for more information, go along to the Red Hot Chili Pipers on their socials, and you can find out all that detail about where you can go and check them out live in concert. There you go. Okay, Celtic Connections has now closed its doors, and this year for Celtic Connections has been an absolute record breaker, and we need to talk about it. Now, we've spoke about Live and Well and other concerts aplenty all across Celtic. If anything, Ross Miller was in concert there a few nights ago and absolutely lit the place up. Oh, anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but there's way too many gigs across Celtic this year that were just blistering. Now, thanks to the folks at Glasgow Life, in partnership with Innocent Gun, we now have the proper stats, okay? It's an 18-day festival, and these numbers would kind of blow your head off. In total, the festival recorded 114,000 attendees across the 18 days. Are you kidding me? Apparently, that's the highest ever number of tickets sold in the event's 33-year history. Oh, come on. That deserves a round of applause. So this year's Celtic Connections, an absolute record breaker. And yeah, the standard here and some of the shows were just off the chain. And we're still sharing them out as we find them. You know, as we find little clips from various gigs across Celtic, we're doing our best to share those out so you folks can enjoy them as well. Now, looking at the press release here, it says that artists and participants spanned more than 35 countries. Yeah, including Palestine, Iraq, Ukraine, Mexico, Cuba, Brazil, Gambia, Mali, Senegal, Sweden, Norway, Ireland, and the US, of course. There you go. So, what? Yeah, just an absolute worldwide gathering of Celtic musicians. It was such a success. 1,600 artists in total took to the stage. You kidding me? Across 300 events at 25 different venues all across Glasgow. This was the most successful Celtic Connections since its inception 33 years ago. Are you joking me? Come on, that deserves a round of applause right there. Well done to Celtic. Woo! Yeah, Celtic Connections honestly was a huge undertaking. I know from talking to some of the folks behind the scenes that helped put all these things together, but seeing how successful Celtic Connections was this year just tells you the kind of state of the music scene right now. People absolutely seem to adore Celtic and folk music right now, and there is a real hunger for it. And even especially from our point of view, from a bagpiping perspective, it's never been more popular. Like, the place has just been absolutely packed out anytime you have anyone throwing a set of pipes under the arm. And that's such a good thing. You know, whenever you consider it, you know, pre-COVID, things were like this. You know, with every gig, with a band, a trad band or a folk band that had a piper in it, the place was normally rammed out, you know? And then COVID came in and just lay waste to everything. The whole thing just absolutely crashed. People were incredibly worried about their livelihoods and all of it. I'm sure you remember it. It was dark times. Well, now that we've been rebuilding for a period of time, well, it's just fantastic to see that gigs like this and festivals like this are going from strength to strength. So, well done to everyone involved at the Celtic Connections, all of the backroom team, to Glasgow Life, to Innocent Gun, to everyone else who's behind the scenes there. Special shout out to everyone there at the National Piping Centre, to the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall, and various other venues across Glasgow. This event was incredible. I know I use that word a lot, okay? And I do draw criticism for it as well, but it was just fantastic. Well done to everyone at Celtic. So we will be continuing to share out those performances as we find them. We do know that a good number of them actually were filmed for television. Yeah, we noticed quite a number of camera crews and sound guys and stuff at these gigs, and a lot of them were professionally recorded. Now, we don't know the detail yet as to where you can go and watch them. Now, yeah, so we will be keeping across that. Will there be like a DVD or perhaps a TV show or a documentary perhaps? We just don't know. But there was lots of film crews around, especially at some of those higher profile gigs. So, yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. We've noticed it, we've seen it, and we've heard the rumors. We're going to keep across it, though there will be more great content from Celtic Connections this year. But just wanted to talk about their record-breaking year. Congratulations to Celtic. Now we can look forward to Piping Live. Oh, is it too early to mention Piping Live yet? Is it too early to mention it?
Oh, Rob, come on. You're going on about Piping Live already. And it's February, man. What are you talking about? Piping Live isn't until August. Would you wise up?
No. Piping Live is, oh man, I can't wait for it. And I don't know, I just got the feeling Celtic Connections was so successful this year, you know, and piping was at its heart. What's Piping Live going to be like this year? You know, when it's 100% focused on the piping world. Oh, man, it's going to be exciting. So, yeah, as soon as we know any more details about Piping Live, we'll certainly let you folks know. But for now, yeah, we can just celebrate and bask in the glory of Celtic Connections. There you go. All right, I have waxed lyrical enough about festivals. Time for us to fly on. I think it's time for me to go and get myself a big cup of tea. We're about to meet another band in this week's topic, so yeah, it's time for the topic of the week.
Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Ghillie Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify, every movement protected.
Hello, this is Kerr McQuillan, and you're listening to The Big Rab Show.
So, the title of this week's episode kind of gives it away. We're meeting another band. And this one's been creating quite stir online, especially with a lot of the stuff on their socials. Yeah, it's quite an exciting story to tell here. The Rose and Thistle Pipe Band, I believe, is a newly established band. Now, that could be stuff that Rab got wrong, but we're about to get into the story. So, well, first of all, I'm going to introduce Andrea to the show. Andrea, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Thank you for having us.
Yeah, but there's quite a few on the call here, actually. There's quite a number of people that I'm looking at right now. So would you like to all introduce yourself then individually and who all we have with us?
Sure. Well, I'll start with me. My name is Andrea Jones, and I'm the pipe major of the band. So,
nice to meet you. Who else have we
I'm
got?
Suzanne Hitchcock, and I'm one of the founding members of the band, and I'm a piper.
And I'm Casey Hitchcock, and I'm the bass player.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, excellent. Who else have we got?
I'm Shalini Prost. I'm from British Columbia, and I'm a piper.
Ah, nice to meet you. Hi.
Hi.
Miriam Campbell. I'm also from British Columbia, and I am a tenor drummer.
Oh, yeah. And I have Taylor in the corner. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Taylor, and I'm the pipe sergeant of the band.
Oh, there we go. So I've got quite a bit of management then on the call. Yeah, so we all have to behave ourselves then. that the crack? Okay. Well, full disclosure, before I even started this recording for this week's show, I got the name completely wrong. So that's on me. I got the script and everything wrong. But we're going to do our best to get through what is quite an interesting story. Can someone tell me then, how did the band all begin? Where did this all start?
Yeah, so I think I can take that one. So the band actually stems, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit, from a rather flippant remark I made in 2023 while at the World Pipe Band Championships. So we had put together a band made up of parents and their kids from several bands in our area, and we decided to form the band for the sole purpose of going to the World Pipe Band Championships, and we did in 2023. Once we got there, though, we had several issues with some of the boys in the band. And I actually think I made a comment like, "Ugh, boys, if I ever do this again, it's only going to be girls." I basically said no boys allowed, although I think those on the call that know me, there was a little bit more not nice language going on. So basically I made that comment. And I think at this point, I'll turn it over to Suzanne, because she's really the one who instigated this. So Suzanne, you want to go from there?
Okay, so we did have some comments back and forth and so forth, and we said maybe in about 2 or 3 years, we ought to come back with an all-ladies pipe band. And so a year passed, and I think I made a couple of comments, and then another year passed, and sure enough, we got a group of us together that seriously decided we were going to create a ladies pipe band. But we were going to be somewhat East Coast local. And we wanted the purpose then to be a sort of a gig band, but we wanted to help people raise money for cancer by being entertainment, if you will, as a pipe band, but all ladies. And from that, we started with breast cancer, but when we decided all cancer, because just about everybody in the band had somebody that was touched in some respect through cancer.
I see, yeah. So fundraising was a real focus then at the very beginning. But is that still something that carries through with the band today?
Yeah. We're just now, since we've gotten some things settled, like our actual logo and name, and our name and our tartan, and now we can go out and do some hopefully really serious connections.
Oh, fantastic. So, I don't know, what is the tartan? You said you've decided on a tartan and everything. What would you guys be wearing then?
Yeah, so we had looked at a couple of different tartans. Originally, we had looked at the breast cancer tartan, and I am not a pink person. And it was really difficult for me to make the decision to wear a tartan that was all pink. So fortunately, not taking anything away from the breast cancer tartan, but we decided that we would look at some other tartans, and we actually ended up with the Spirit of Scotland weathered tartan, because it really has a lovely lavender kind of a stripe running through it. And with lavender being the universal color for all cancers, we decided that would be the one that we would want to go with. So that's the tartan that we've decided on. And we're having most of our kilts made through Loch Karen. And we're very, very proud to wear that tartan. It's really beautiful.
Fantastic. Do you know, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to start a pipe band from scratch. And that's what makes this story really exciting. You got to pick your own name. That never happens. So how did you land on the name then? Rose and Thistle. That's really cool, actually.
Originally, we started with a very small group of local Carolinians. So we had thought about the Southern Ladies Pipe Band, the Carolina Ladies, and we'd gone through quite a few different kind of ideas. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm actually not sure which one of us came up with the Rose and Thistle Ladies Pipe Band. Taylor, there she goes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well done.
Actually, so my dad is Roddy McClellan, the pipe maker. So I was talking to him about the band and all of that, and how it was going to be exciting. It's all women, and at that point, I think it had become more of an international feat for us, which was also my doing by posting on social media and just getting a lot of comments and people wanting to join and things like that. And so he said, maybe you should make it more universal. And, you guys can be the Rose, and then Scotland is your Thistle, and then there is your name.
Can I cut in here?
Yeah.
So all that time, Taylor, I thought your dad was calling it Rose and Thistle because you were all the roses around the thistle. So I was the thistle and you guys were okay. All right. I feel so much better now. Okay. Please continue.
There you go. We've resolved something on the pod this week. There you go. That is such a brilliant.
Oh, I feel so much better.
There you go. I'm glad you mentioned, Taylor, about the reaction online. There seems to have been quite a number of people that are so excited for this venture. And I think we mentioned just off the mic, actually, there's quite a number of international folks that are now reaching out to play in the band. Can someone tell me that story? Have you got any international players filling the ranks?
We do. So as Taylor mentioned, she was pretty instrumental in getting the word out and putting it out. I think she put it out on Women of Pipe Bands. You can weigh in here at any time, Taylor. And it kind of got out there, and we were getting emails from people all over. Wonderful. As you can see, we've got some of our Canadians here today. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's really early there. We had people reach out from Germany, from actually Scotland and England, from Australia, things like that. We actually have 2 ladies in the band from Australia. And we're down to one player from Germany, and she was going to try to be on today, but unfortunately wasn't able to. So we do have some international players between our Canadian friends and Australia and Germany, and a lot of ladies within the United States itself. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. All with a view then of eventually competing at the World Championships. Is that the focus then for 2026?
Yes. So we will be going. The band is registered with the RSPBA as of now. Mm-hmm. And so we're ungraded at the moment. We're still working on our grading. And we will be going in 2026. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I am going to grab a selfie with you.
I should put a plug in right here. We are playing McClellan Channers and Melvin Reeds. So, got to get that in there. So
shameless plug. Love it. There you go.
You got to do what you got to do to keep everybody happy.
Oh, absolutely. No, we love Melvin and McLaren, of course. Yes. Yeah. Fantastic products. So yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Let's talk about the music then. So you guys have been putting little clips and stuff, little teasers and that. By the way, I think you're experts in that, because just as I'm getting into it, I'm like, oh, that's good. And then it just stops. And I'm like, oh, come on. So, well, yeah, musically, what way is the band approaching things then? Picking big tunes or, more kind of simple things played really well?
For me, and I'll let the ladies weigh in on this too. I'd like them to make some comments. But as far as picking the music, it was actually, so we're trying to be in 4B. We have a lot of ladies that have never competed before, ever, in a pipe band.
Wow.
Yeah, they're players. We have several that have, but a majority of our membership are ladies that have played in street bands, played in grade 5 and 4 bands and things like that. So we're trying for 4B. So of course we have to work off the map list, the RSPBA map list. And me being the weirdo that I am, I thought it would be really fun to pick all the tunes after ladies.
Oh, wow.
So we're playing Sweet Maid of Glendale, Jenny's Bobby, Weary Maid, and the Brown Haired Maiden, because they all have ladies in the name. So that was kind of my thought. It was kind of whatever. I just, was kind of giggling a little bit when I was putting the set together, whatever. But I think I'll let the ladies weigh in. I thought it was a fun set to play. So that's what we've been working on. And a majority of our rehearsals are online. Wednesday nights and Sundays, and the tenors meet on Tuesdays. Our snares meet on Monday. And then we have an in-person rehearsal once a month.
Right.
So about the music too, and the rehearsing online and how that's all working. I'd like to turn it over to Miriam and Shalini and Taylor and Suzanne, if you don't mind, so they can tell you about what it's like doing that, because it is a bit of a challenge.
Absolutely. So, Miriam, how does that work for tenor drumming? That's bound to be a challenge in itself.
It is, definitely, and it's just one of the unique things that we have to work around, being a unique band and putting this together. So I have spent some time creating the tenor scores, writing them out, and have really wanted to establish that this is a collective collaboration of all the tenors. So I'm seeking their input on flourishes and what are we calling them, because there's numerous different names for flourishes across the world, and everyone has their unique fun style. And I'm just wanting to ensure that, I'm not going to be challenging everybody and they're going to be worried about getting there on the day to play it, but they're also having fun. And it's something that we can sort of share our ideas and just expand all of our sort of knowledge and such of the tenor drumming. So
love that. Yeah, so it's more of a collective than you're playing this and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. I've taken the lead on getting the group together. So I've set up obviously the weekly meetings and work and collecting the information and sharing it out. So if people do miss 1 week, they're not behind and offered to work with individuals if they need to, but really wanting it to be just throw all the ideas in a pot and let's see what we can create together as this great collective.
Throw it all at the wall and see what sticks.
Exactly.
I love that. That's brilliant. And even from a bass drumming perspective then, Casey, how does that work online? That's bound to be challenging as well.
Well, so I'm actually the drum major for another pipe band. So I am one of the players that this is my first time competing
wow, really?
in the pipe band. I'm part of the pipe band world, but I've actually been out on the field competing before. And so I started out actually to play snare. I play sometimes with our band, but my aunt is our bass drum player, and she was like, "You can do this," and she can go to Scotland. So she's with me, and to be honest, it's a lot of fun. But having a piper in the actual house with me is very helpful because it does match up really well, and it it's just kind of an extension of the piping, so it's easy to practice with her. That kind of thing. Right. But I am my own little island, I think, when it comes to practicing a little bit, just because I'm not flourishing the same and everything. So I rely on her and the piping. There
you go. But you're lucky to have that, to have a piper with you. So you're not absolutely reliant on the online element of it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. Anyone else had any more comments about the online portion of it? It's unique now. The days that we're in now in 2026, working online seems to be the new norm. And does it work for pipe bands? I'll throw it to Selene there in the top. Have you any comments about working online?
Yeah. Well, when I first joined, I guess I saw Taylor's post. I didn't know that was yours about looking for women. And I thought, oh, this could be a neat idea. I just saw it one day and I reached out. I thought, I wonder what it's about. And then the very next day it was gone because they had so much interest. They had to bring it down, I think. So I didn't really know what it was about. So I went to the first chanter practice online with Andrea. And for me, I've done a lot online because, with COVID and our own band stuff here. So I was kind of used to that. It's not ideal, but I was used to it. But for me, honestly, it was Andrea. As soon as I met her and talked to her, I was like, okay, this is going to be great. She's wonderful at running the practices online because it can be difficult. And I find it's a metronome thing, right? Let's play at this speed, keep it together. You've got to practice the same. It's not about just playing online. And she's very good at that, at reiterating, playing it consistently at the speed all the time so that when we get together, at least we're doing something similar. And I really like the idea that it's simple tunes, and I'm hoping for grade 4B because I feel like being so far apart, no matter what kind of players we are. I mean, I've played at the Worlds, I play in a competitive band, but a lot haven't, and I think most of us know that's a whole nother thing when you get there for nerves. So I really like that the music is what it is. It's fun little tunes and it's simple, and I think everybody can manage it online and with the in-person practices. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think you're right though with the metronome part of it, because we all know Zoom can be rubbish if you have a pretty poor internet connection, and you could be halfway through the tune and the other person's only hearing the first 2 bars. Yeah, it's really frustrating, but we work around those challenges, Yeah. So I want to talk about the in-person element then. Whenever you folks do meet up then once per month, is it just a frenzy of maintenance and getting people tuned and getting sound and all of that? Andrea, I'm sure you have your work cut out whenever everybody's together.
Actually, no. So what's been really cool, so we've only had one in-person practice at the beginning of January, and the most the brilliant thing about this is that all that tuning is on Roddy. I have to do nothing. I just show up. I'm like, "Hi, ladies, how are you, Roddy? It's all yours," right?
Yeah,
so
that's your problem.
yeah, that's your tuning is your problem. So he's provided us with all the channers. As I said, Adrian Melvin has provided our reeds, which has been phenomenal. And with Taylor, his daughter, and his other daughter, Kyle, is our drum sergeant. She's not on today because she's sick. He's taken a real interest in the band and is offered, he's coming with us to Scotland. So he's going to do all the tuning for us and so I don't really have to worry about that, which is really, really nice. So really what we did at our first practice, obviously, again, not everybody shows up. I don't expect the ladies from Australia just fly over for, hey, a Saturday band practice. Let's say, oh, hey, let's do that. But we got together, we worked on practice channers. What we did was we got our computer out. I put all the Google Meet up so the ladies that were away could join us online for practice channers.
Yeah.
And then when we went on to the bagpipes and we went to the full instruments and stuff, we basically said bye, closed the computer lid, and we practiced. And they but it hopefully allowed them to be kind of a part of it, even though they weren't able to attend in person. So yeah, we just hold it like a regular band practice, and whoever can make it, fantastic. And we practice channers, bagpipes. We worked on a lot of roll-off, cut-off drills, things like that. So, and one of the best things is I should mention, one of the ladies in our band is awesome. So because there's so many of us and, we see each other as little teeny squares on Wednesday and Sundays and Tuesdays and whatever, she actually made us name badges. So she made badges for everybody band, and it has your name on it, so we know, oh hey, so and so and whatever, and she put what country you're from and what instrument you play. So it's really fun. So when we show up at these rehearsals and we haven't seen each other actually in person, the very first one, I would say probably 70% of the band, none of us had ever met each other in person before. So it was really cool.
That's a big part of it too, though, like the social element of it. The playing and the competing and all of that's one thing, but getting to know each other as people and not squares on a screen, it is a whole part of it. So is that part of the actual in-person practice, is just hanging out and getting to know each other?
Well, I hope so. I mean, we had a great time. Some of us that came in early, we met at the pub on Friday night, kind of a deal. Obviously, too much drinking. We have rehearsal on Saturday, kind of a deal. I wish I would have followed that advice, but I didn't. But so it was really social. And then afterwards, we all went out to dinner together. We had a nice big dinner, band dinner, things like that. So for me, the competition aspect is really, really cool, but just the social aspect and meeting these new people and playing and finding out, their stories and where they're from and what bands they've played in and what their experiences have been and stuff. That part of it has just been really, really nice. And as we get, do more things together, getting together with the folks on the West Coast at the end of the month, you're getting to meet everybody actually in person and stuff. So that part of it's really, I really enjoy that. So I don't know about everybody else.
Well, what's also interesting is even before we met in person, a lot of the ladies who lived, somewhat near each other would meet up on their own and do things outside of pipe band. I know we have one lady that is a bird watcher, and then other ladies came on and were like, oh my gosh, I'm a bird watcher. And then all of a sudden now they're planning to go bird watching. And it's really, really interesting how this pipe band has brought them together, but other interests have really, kept them, really as friends.
People always think it's weird when I say this, but it's very true. This music does bring folks together. As much as we're competing against each other, we want to win, but it absolutely does bring people together. And I think the Rose and Thistle band is definitely a testament to that, for sure. And Andrea, being a Thistle that doesn't have to worry about sound, that's a gift right there. That's brilliant.
Right? God, every pipe maker's dream. Right? Not having to worry about the tone, the sound, and that's all on you, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about the big and then the world. So obviously, everyone looks to Glasgow in August, and you guys are looking forward to it then for 2026. What are the plans for the band? When do you land in to Glasgow? Are you be there from Monday of Pipe and Live week, or are you coming in any earlier than that?
No, well, I can't speak for everybody. I know I'll let everybody do their own kind of journey getting there. But the general plan for the band is to arrive by Monday. As I said, some of us will not even meet each other until the Monday or get a chance to play with each other until the Monday of the World. So we'll start rehearsals on Monday. And just a few hours. I want people to enjoy themselves. I'm not going to crack the whip and be 5-6 hours. There's so much to see, like you said, with piping live. And I mean, most of it is just taking in the whole experience. And so the hope is that we can take an hour or two every day, get our channers acclimated. We're very fortunate, fingers crossed, that we'll be renting our drums when we get there. One of the main challenges, I think, is the instruments. I don't think people realize that, everyone just can't randomly show up with their tenor drums and their snares, right? Yeah. So one's got a Pearl, one's got a Premier, one's got an Andante and stuff. So we've been able to rent drums and again, with Roddy and the donation of the channers, we've been able to we have 24 pipers right now in the band.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's an army. Yeah. That's not a band.
I know. It's a little scary. And so but having matched channers, how do you get those matched channers?
That's
things like
thinking. That. Yeah, getting sounds.
Yeah, to be competitive, it's not like going and doing a street parade or whatever. We have to be, we want to be competitive. And so having to get that equipment together. So our goal is to have hopefully the drums there on the Monday, and we're just going to start rehearsing and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Oh, well, best of luck with that for sure. Yeah, but I do hope to catch up with you on the grass in Glasgow at some point. And I'm definitely bagging a selfie with you. That's for sure. So, well, folks, I hope to see a full band photograph under the big spiky thing. Now, I don't know what the proper name is for it, but that big, tall, spiky thing? That's all everyone calls it. So, yeah, there should be some proper band photographs from this. I'm dead excited for this. So, the Rose and Thistle Pipe Band. For anyone that does want to get any more information about it, you can go and check out their socials. They've got tons of great stuff up there. Lots of those little sneaky peeks that I've been enjoying. So go and check them out. But Andrea, best of luck to yourself and to everyone there at the band, and especially to Roddy as well. I think he's going to have a big job on his hands.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's the only man allowed in the band, so he's our token male.
Yes. And we're not going to make him shave his legs.
Oh, good, yeah.
So, be safe, yeah.
So, yes, that's a big task and a big band. And I'm dead excited to see you guys on the grass in Glasgow. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us on the pod this week. And, every success for this incoming season. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And there you have it. The Rose and Thistle Pipe Band. Fantastic. What a story as well. And, best of luck to Roddy. And I'm quite glad he doesn't have to shave his legs. Anyway, so if you are interested in finding out any more information about the band, of course, there are links in your show notes right now where you can go and check them out. And I'm dead excited to see them on the grass this incoming year. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. So, again, a huge thank you to everyone there at the Rose and Thistle Band for taking time to chat with me. Really appreciate it. And that's it for another Meet the Band. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you do want to be a part of our Meet the Band series, then please do. Email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and your band could be the next one that we're finding out their story about. Yeah, there you go. Right, folks, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Another one is in the can. Difficult to believe. Episode 473. Yikes, we are thundering towards a certain episode that might be a huge milestone. Anyway, we'll not get into it just yet. It's early days, but some people have mentioned it already. But anyway, we're going to ignore it until it's a thing. All right, we're fly on. Folks, again, thank you all for downloading this week and each and every week. And don't forget to tell your mates about our wee show, about what we're doing over here, talking about the music of the great Highland Bagpipe and its people. Sure, where else would you be other than right here on the Big Rab Show pod each and every week? So, folks, until next week, I'll be back again with even more bagpiping goodness. Until then, all the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.